too often in person. Last time was on Father's Day. And it's always a treat to see my friends on Zoom. It's easy to identify with Anna and Simeon when they saw Mary and Joseph present the infant Jesus at temple. Anna and Simeon could see God in Jesus. Who among us hasn't seen God in the face of an infant, who may be our children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, nieces, nephews, and children of our friends and family? I suspect Anna and Simeon were joyous about meeting many infants in the temple. But this meeting was different. Anna and Simeon had an epiphany experience. They believed they saw in Jesus the first instance of God breaking through into the human experience, of God becoming part of the human story. How amazing. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of our God. As extraordinary as this experience was, if Anna and Simeon only knew, God's presence in our lives is so much more than they ever could have imagined. Of course, Anna and Simeon did not have the advantage of living through the life of Jesus, and they did not experience the transformation of the Easter experience. They did not have the benefit of hundreds and hundreds of years of meditation, reflection, theologizing, sharing about the mystery of Emmanuel, God with us. We know that God has not only entered the human story in the person of Jesus, God enters into every human story and into every human encounter. We know that God abides in each of us, that we fully participate in Christ, that we are swept up in the swirling embrace of Trinity. How astonishing, how breathtaking. Through our complete participation in Trinity, each of us is not only precious, we are sacred. Each of us is not only loved, we are divinely beloved. Each of us is not only empowered, we have been given miraculous power. If Anna and Simeon only knew. And for us, as much as we know, we can't begin to imagine how amazing it really is. Well, Anna and Simeon left the temple later that day. Yes, I'm sure even Anna left the temple at some point, even though she hung out at the temple by day and night, all day and all night. She probably left at some point. What was that experience like? After being on the mountaintop, what was it like to come down, to witness the discrimination, victimization, and cruelty of others? For us to know that each person is sacred and divinely beloved, how profoundly sad it is to see others being manipulated, marginalized, neglected, abused, and used to make political points. To experience divine love and divine joy is to open us to the experience of profound divine sorrow and compassion. These days, many of us, perhaps all of us, are deeply concerned about the plight of undocumented immigrants and those mistakenly identified as undocumented. Each of these individuals has a unique story, yet so many of the stories have similar themes: chronic fear and stress, manipulation by others, and repeated trauma. They exist in shadows in this country, coping with discrimination and poverty, often utter, deep poverty, trying to survive, trying to support their children, partners, and family. And they live in constant fear of being abused, arrested, separated from family, and deported. And many, if not most of them, are continually being re-traumatized. We feel profound sorrow for them. We look for ways to support them and all who care for them. Those who protect their right to health care when they are sick, those who protect their children when they go to schools, those who defend their right to a fair wage when they are employed. And we stand up against oppressors who dehumanize them and use them as pawns in a political game. As people of faith, we know God has entered into every one of their stories. every moment of their lives. These pilgrim people are full participants in the divine family, caught up in the swirl of Trinity along with us. We join them in their pilgrimage, fully aware that we too are pilgrim people. If Anna and Simeon were in our midst and knew what we know, they certainly would seek God with us and these people. They might be able to find them in the temple. If not, they wouldn't have to look too far. They've been present in the shadows all around. Until recently, they get health care. They've received health care in our emergency rooms. Their children attended our schools. They worked in our car washes and the restaurants we visit. They've been working in our yards, caring for our trees, shrubs, and lawns. Now they cower in fear, afraid to show their faces anymore. Anna and Simeon would be overcome with joy to witness the loving presence of Emmanuel in each of these pilgrim people. Mine eyes have seen the glory.